Every poker player has witnessed this. Someone at your table is having an amazing session. They can't lose a hand. They're up piles, and it seems like all they can do is smile, talk, and keep winning. But then, they get involved in a massive hand. And just like that, all of that profit is gone. They go from smiling and talking nonstop to mad, quiet, and on tilt. But not me. I never go on tilt. Well, maybe this once. It's been a minute since I started a poker vlog at the gym, but I decided to incorporate it again because I enjoy filming that kind of content, but also because that's pretty much it. So if you don't like the gym content, well, you obviously need to get in the gym. So quit crying, shut your mouth, lock in, get in the gym, and then go play some poker, okay? Now, let's get to the poker portion of this vlog because that's why most of you are here. Now, I'm about to run my first ever private 1-3 game at quite literally the nicest poker room in Texas, Palace Poker. Now I know for a fact this is gonna be a great game because I made the list. Now you would think that I'm the best player on the list because I made it, but I'm not. Because the only way to get better is to play against better players than yourself. That might not make sense for poker actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. Probably not a good idea, but it is what it is. It's too late now. The game's gonna be action-packed though, I know that for sure. And it's my game, so I'm gonna have to VPIP at least 12, 13%, something crazy. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have a strong, very strong feeling I'm about to run hot today, okay? So if you see aces 5 times on this vlog, just know that I told you so. Now with that being said, let's go in here and VPIP 12%. Come on! All right, so where I'm in right now is the main room, but they're gonna let me run my private game in the back room, which is a high stakes room only, but we're not playing high stakes. The room is sick though. Everyone buys into this game for $1,000, but we're playing a 75% match stack game, which means later tonight, the stacks will get huge. And by the end of the session, one of these players will have a stack of over $7,000 in a 1-3 game. That's right. But for now, we all have $1,000 in front of us. 5 minutes in, I look down at ace-queen suited on the button. There's a $10 straddle and 1 limp before the hijack makes it 50. I 3-bet to 185. It folds back around to the hijack, and he does not call, or fold, or jam. No, I'm just kidding. He goes all in. At best, we're flipping with a hand like pocket jacks or pocket 10s, but 9.5 times out of 10, we're absolutely cooked in this spot. So I let it go. He told me the next week, that's right, the next week, that he had ace king. So we were indeed cooked. 5 minutes into the session, I'm down nearly $200, a full 1-2 buy-in. A few minutes later, I win all of that back and then some in a PLO bomb pot. Now I'm up over $100, but then I lose a decent sized pot with ace 4, and now I'm down over $300. Then I pick up ace king in the big blind. The $10 straddle is on and there's 4 limps. 4. So I make it 75 to go. 2 of the limpers call and the other 2 fold. We go 3 ways to a flop, and it comes jack high. I c-bet for 75 and only get 1 caller. Now we're heads up. The turn is a 9 of clubs. I have ace high, but I could have aces or kings or queens or jacks or basically all of the good hands in this spot. Now I have around $500 left in my stack and I decide to apply max pressure. I jam all in. My opponent goes into the tank. He knows how I play because we're friends and we played a lot of poker together, so I'm hoping he realizes I'm only really bluffing in this spot pretty much never. But he keeps on tanking. Then he tanks some more and then some more. But then he folds. I pick up a nice pot and I'm back to even. For the next 2 hours, literally nothing happens. I play some small pots and then I play some huge bomb pots and basically break even. But after playing for 3 hours in total, I'm up around $100. And then I play this hand. I'm in middle position and look down at 7-5 of diamonds. There's a raise to $10 before the player to my right slams down a raise to $50. I slam down a call for $50. Then it folds to Dusty in the big blind. He 4-bets to 220. There is literally nobody else at this table that I want to stack more than Dusty. So when the player to my right calls, I decide to call as well. The flop isn't that bad for our hand. We have a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. Dusty c-bets for 220. The player to my right folds and, well, I can't really call 220 pre-flop and then fold on this kind of board. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. So I make the call. The turn is another 9. A pretty bad card, but Dusty slows down and checks. This doesn't feel like a great card for me to bluff on, although I'm definitely going to have more 9s in my range in this spot than him. But Dusty hates folding, so I check it back. I'm just hoping for a 4 in the river just one time. And that is not what we get. But once again, Dusty checks it to me. I'm almost certain he has a hand like ace king or ace queen. And if that's the case, I only got one move if I want to win this hand. I'm all in.
Really? Yep, that's right. 19. How much is it? 6, 7? Oh, you're good, guys.
7 high.
What a call, oh my god.
Nice hand, bro.
That'll make the block.
He called with a 6. A 6. I've shown him maybe 3 bluffs in the past 2 years, so I don't know how he makes that call, but Dusty, if you're watching this, great call. Also, you're trash. So now I'm stuck $1,000. So I rebuy for $1,500, and as soon as I rebuy, I win a nice size PLO double board bomb pot, and then I decided to get absolutely crazy and raise king 9 offsuit on the button to $50 pre-flop. 2 people call, I see bet the flop, and I take it down. Within 20 minutes of rebuying, my stack is up to $2,100, which means I'm only down $400 now. But then I decided to try and be a hero. Now, unfortunately, my camera was on the tripod during this next hand, so I'm gonna go through this hand using the Fast Roll Poker app. I'm in the $10 strat and leg down at ace-5 of diamonds. The cutoff limps, and so does the small blind. I make it 55. They both call. We go 3 ways to a flop, and it's trash. The small blind checks, I check, and so does the cutoff. The turn is a 9. Now the small blind decides to lead out for $55. I have ace high, but there's 2 flush draws on the board and there's a straight draw, so ace high might be good. I make the call. The cutoff folds. Now we're heads up. The river is an offsuit 4. Every draw misses, but the small blind goes all in for $220. If he has a 3, this makes sense, but if he has an 8 or a 9, would he really go all in? I highly doubt it. But if he had a missed flush draw or missed straight draw, I do think he'd go all in. So after thinking for over a minute, I decide to make the hero call, and he shows Jack 8 offsuit. He took me to Value Town with an 8. Not gonna lie, feels pretty bad. Really thought that was gonna be my moment to make a crazy hero call, but instead, thanks to Reed, who's a small blind player, I just look like a complete fish. On a separate note, if you like how I went through that hand using the Fast Roll Poker app, use code QUESO when you sign up for an annual subscription and get a month free. Not only is the app super, and I mean super, easy to track your hands on, you can also put filters on your hands to identify weak and strong areas in your game. For example, you can see how much you've won or lost in 3-bet pots or 4-bet pots, which leads me to the next hand.
This session has been extremely swingy, and I'll be honest, I'm starting to lose my patience, and a little tilt is starting to creep in. But then I look down at pocket queens. Brad, who's a solid player and has also stuck piles tonight, opens the 30 on my right. I 3-bet to 95. It folds around to the big blind, and he cold calls to 95. Action's back on Brad on my right. He puts in the 4-bet to $430. Even though I have pocket queens, I'm pretty sure I'm crushed at the moment. Brad is a solid player, but he typically plays tight, and he also knows that I'm a tight player, which means it's highly unlikely he's doing this with anything worse than ace king. But there is a slim chance we could still be ahead, and also I'm stuck. So I make the call. What I wasn't expecting is for the big blind to call as well. We're going 3 ways to a flop with over $1,000 in the middle. It comes 10 high. The big blind checks and Brad bets 300. I can't fold just yet. I make the call, and so does the big blind. We're still 3 ways to a turn, and it's a jack, giving us an open-ended straight draw. The big blind checks again, and this time, so does Brad. Action's on me. My initial instinct was to check, but then I started to think. Honestly, I have no idea what the big blind has, but I don't think he's that strong. And based off the way Brad's played this hand, I actually still think he has kings or aces, but like I said before, he knows I'm a tight player. If I jam here on the turn, there's a good chance he's gonna think I have a set of 10s or jacks. And even if he does call, we have outs. So I decide I'm going for it. I jam all in for just over $1,200. The big blind goes into the tank, and after the longest 45 seconds of my life, he folds. But now Brad goes into the tank. When he starts to tank this long, I know I'm beat. My heart is pounding. He tanks for a full minute, and then folds. We take down a massive pot to get all the way out of the hole and into the black. I'm up over $800 now. I'm finally out of the hole, and I'm starting to gain some momentum. I pick up ace king. I 3-bet to 100 pre-flop and get 4-bet by Dusty to 320. He looks like he's ready to just give it all away, so I 5-bet jam, but he folds. Then I look down at king 10 of hearts. There's an open to 15 from early position. I call, and then the player to my left 3-bets to 100. The initial rates are calls, and, well, double flatting pre-flop is almost never a good option, but I make the call. The flop comes queen jack 4, giving me an open-ended straight draw. Action checks to the player to my left, and he continues for 125. The other player folds, and I make the call. Now we're heads up, and we're looking for an ace or a 9 on the turn. We get neither. But we do improve the top pair, which is probably no good. So I check, and this time he checks it back. The river is another club, putting 4 to a flush on the board. I decide I'm gonna try and steal this pot. I bet $225. This does not work. My opponent jams all in for over $1,500. I obviously fold, and he shows ace jack with no club. So I get bluffed out of my shoes, and I lose over $400 in that hand. Then I get involved in a stupid bomb pot. I look down at a bunch of different cards. I flop a straight on one board, and I have an ultra, omega, double, triple, whatever you want to call it, wrap on the bottom. I end up getting it all in against 2 other players. One of them boats up on both boards on the turn, and I get scooped. But thankfully, this bomb pot had a $1,000 cap on it, so I only lose $1,000. And that puts me right back in the hole. Meanwhile, the player who won that bomb pot, Nick, has a stack of over $7,000, and he's in for $600. So, great for him, not so great for me. The game goes for another hour or so, and although I was able to win a few pots, in the end, it just wasn't enough to get out of the hole.
That was hands down one of the swingiest sessions I have ever played, and the results are not very good, but they're also not that bad. Now, before I get to those results, I'm gonna answer the question you've all been waiting for, the title of this video, the #1 thing that is hurting your game. And the answer is tilt. Every single person watching this video knows what tilt is. You've experienced it for yourself, but very few people can control that tilt. Very few people at the poker table can get their emotions under control and play good poker. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm not saying I'm this great player, but I am really good at controlling my emotions and not going on tilt. I have seen so many people at the table right next to me lose thousands of dollars that they didn't need to lose, and they chalk it up to tilt. Now, this seems like a very obvious thing that you need to learn how to control, but so many people don't ever figure it out. My advice, if you know you're tilted and you know when you are, get up, walk outside, take a breather, or get up, end your session, come back the next day. It's so hard to do, but I promise you're gonna save so much money. It's worked for me, and I promise it will absolutely help you minimize your losses, okay? So, you watched this entire 14 or 15 minute video just to get that 30-second answer. Thank you for doing that. Now, let's get to my results from this past session. In total, I was in the game for $3,000. At one point I was up like 500, then I was down 1,500, then I was up 300, then I was down, up, down, back and forth. But in the end, I cashed out for $2,255, so I only lost 745 bucks, which in that game is not that much, and trust me, could have been worse. But I believe the main reason that I didn't lose a ton of money is because I didn't go on tilt. Simple as that. Now, until next time, shut your mouth, stay locked in, peace.